Hey everyone, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel. You guys, I live near an airport and there's just airplanes all the time. And so this is just a new reality of my videos. So yeah, let's just talk around the airplane, shall we? So this video, I wanted to talk about readathons. So they're very popular. They're happening pretty much all of the time. I feel like I see at least one or two readathons somewhere on the interwebs, no matter what day it is, and people enjoy them, and that's great. And I know a lot of people have fun with the challenges and picking out their books and then trying to get through those challenges, and that has never worked for me in any real way because I think I'm just so rule adverse. Like, if you try to put me in the box, I immediately want to completely decimate that box. I'm not good with the pressure and the rules and the picking things and then immediately not wanting to read those things. And I know that is a sentiment echoed by a lot of people here as well. But that's not to say I don't like readathons, and I have pretty much, whenever possible, always participated in Dewey's 24-hour readathon happily and very joyfully. And I think one of the reasons that Dewey's works so well for me is it's so large and it's so community focused that even if I don't stay up 24 hours, which I have never done, even if I don't read a ton of stuff, which happens a lot, just the community aspect of it, the interactions with everybody, just the fun spirit is always enough to make me sign up for that one. And there's a new Dewey's readathon happening at the end of this month, which they've never done before, so that's exciting. But typically speaking, kind of official readathons, I don't do them well. So this video is about how I personally do readathons, how I use them, what kind of books I like to read with them, and what works for me, and it might work for you. And some of you might already do something fairly similar to what I do, which is that I have my own personal readathons. I don't necessarily call them readathons, but it's like a chunk of time, typically at least a day, that I say to myself, this is a reading day, this is a reading weekend, this is some reading time off from work, this is a reading vacation. And I just did this from Saturday through Wednesday, because Wednesday was the 4th of July and I had that off from work, so I was like, just going to go ahead and take Monday and Tuesday and make this a 5-day reading period. And I don't really announce it to anyone except for my husband when I tell him, I'm not available during this time, and he had to work and he was busy, so it was just a really good time for me to stay at home and focus and relax and just food for the soul, people. Really. That's really true for me. It really made me feel a lot better. And I use these sort of reading vacations as like a boost to my mental state, but also ways to boost my reading when I feel like I'm in a kind of a down period and I want to get back into it. And it always works. I don't do them a lot, maybe once or twice a year, but when I do, it just always makes me feel so good because I choose times when I'm really just in the mood to go for it. And this past 5 days, or the 5-day weekend I had, was just the perfect example of what I love about doing this for myself. So I thought I would go through the books I read and why I read them, what worked for the readathon for me, what I look for in those kinds of books, and just have a little chat. So I don't typically put rules on my reading vacations, readathons. I do typically have sort of a goal, and the goal could be as easy as just read more, read most of the day, but this time I had something a little more specific in mind. I wanted to try to read 5 things in 5 days. It could be literally anything. It just had to have words on a page, basically. And so the first day I started was Saturday, June 30th, and that was the last day of the month, and I was reading a book at that time, so I thought I would just finish it, and it would count no matter that I was already 100 pages in. And that book was The Anomaly by Michael Rucker. So I sat down and read the last 250 pages of this on Saturday. It was about 3 sittings, and it was so lovely. Because this book, what works really well about this for a readathon is that it is like suspenseful and kind of thriller and a little bit of horror and like batshit insane. Like, just so much is happening. You never know where the book is going to go, which requires you to suspend a little bit of your disbelief. But if you just go with the story and the twists and the turns, it really, really, really works. So it's paced very, very fast. It's written very straightforward, and it works great for a readathon. Yeah, and it's just about this group of like YouTube creators. They work on a series on YouTube that they like explore secret history and like conspiracy theories and stuff, and they're inside of a weird cavern in the Grand Canyon, and bad shit goes down, and fun. Not for everyone, but for me, it worked. And then a book that I've been looking forward to all year, definitely one of my most anticipated releases of 2018, which made it another great contender for a readathon, something that you can really get behind, something that's really exciting, something that you can't like not read, you have to read it. And that for me was Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowan Horse. This is sort of Native American urban fantasy, indigenous futurism book. So I already like that. It's fast-paced, it's short, another excellent way to choose your readathon books. And man, this one was really good. I liked it so much that basically I savored it. If you can savor anything over like a kind of condensed reading time, and I split it and I read half on Sunday and half on Monday, and it was excellent. So if you're looking for some good urban fantasy for a readathon, or just read it in general, it's good. Fun. And then because I was reading that over 2 days, I wanted to pick up something that wasn't prose that I could get through pretty quickly. And so I read The Witch Doesn't Burn in This One by Amanda Lovelace on Sunday afternoon after I had finished the first half of this to kind of fill in the gap. This didn't take me very long to read. I don't want to say too much about this because this is not my jam. I picked this up out of total curiosity of these sort of more modern poetry things that had been coming out that lots of people have been reading. I just wanted to see what they were like, if there was anything here for me, and there wasn't. So, you know, it was not hard to read, and it got me through the readathon. So it was good in that respect, but I don't recommend it. And I'm probably never going to talk about it again. It's literally going on my get out of my house pile. But again, a good read for a readathon in its brevity, and that's what I'll say. So that was kind of a bummer, but then I got to finish the back half of Trail of Lightning on Monday, and then Tuesday it was like the magical moment when you wake up and you're not reading anything and you just get to go to your TBR shelves. I just got to go over there and stare at my books and pick the thing that was calling to me the most, which is another great attitude to have during a readathon. And what jumped out at me was River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. This is a Tor novella series. This is the first in the series, and it's about this sort of ragtag criminal group who are in this alternate history US down in Louisiana, trying to free these feral hippos who live in the Mississippi and release them out to the Gulf of Mexico, and like shenanigans. And it's such a great diverse cast. So quick, you guys. I read this all before lunchtime that Tuesday. Wide margins, big text, just a romp. Action paced, could totally see it as a movie. Same with The Anomaly, so cinematic, perfect readathon reads. So I enjoyed this a lot, and I look forward to the rest of the novella series. Maybe for Dewey's at the end of the month. And then finally, I always knew I would end with a comic, and I picked up the second volume of Goldie Vance on Wednesday morning before I had to like clean my house and get ready to have guests over for 4th of July. So this was cute. Gold Advances sort of like standalone stories. Each trade, you don't have to read the one before or the one after it. I mean, I think might enhance your experience. But basically it's about a biracial young woman named Goldie, whose father is a manager of this sort of swanky hotel in Miami back in the 60s, and she works as a valet there, and there's all of her friends, and they generally spend each trade solving a mystery. It's just fun. It's fairly all ages. Good times. And I read it in bed before I even brushed my teeth on Wednesday morning. And that was my readathon done. I had read 5 things in 5 days, and I was happy, and I still had plenty of time to do anything else I wanted to do. And it did spark my reading back. I picked up Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, which I have been reading for 2 years, and that's no lie. And I was about 400 pages into it, and I hadn't picked it up in a while. I'd been listening to it on audio, and so I just picked up the physical copy, and I said, you know what, I'm really inspired again, and I read about another 100 pages during that kind of reading vacation time too of this. This wasn't like an official book, and I've read about another 100 pages of it since then. So it was great. It was a super successful 5 days, and I am back into my reading zone. I'm ahead in my Goodreads yearly goal count, and I look forward to what I read next. So let me know down below if you like readathons, if you do something like this for yourself, and what kinds of books you like to read during readathons. And I will talk to you guys next video. Bye!